Hi there, my name is Stefano Koliakovo, and I'm a product manager here at MindBridge. Today we will be looking at some of the features and highlights in our May release of AI Auditor, which includes major enhancements to our risk-based dashboards, our analytical review capabilities, including specific not-for-profit support, as well as improvements on the subledger side to AR and AP. So once an analysis has been run in AI Auditor, we arrive at a landing page that has our risk overview tab here. And current users of the tool will be very familiar with this page that includes summary level information of transactions by risk category, as well as a breakdown of control points. Those are what we call the various tests that we perform on the data, how specifically those break down also. With this latest release, we've added these filters across the top of the page here, whereby you can now slice and dice the summary level information of transactional risk to focus on specific areas of relevance. For example, let's add a filter for a specific financial statement area like revenue. All of the relevant information dynamically updates, and you're able to get a sense of how risk breaks down specific to this account. As a further exercise, I'm also able to stack on additional filters and get more and more granular. For example, let's look at effective date, and I'm particularly interested in revenue transactions in the last month of the fiscal period. So I can stack on an additional filter here for the month of December. And now my results are even more targeted specifically to transactions in that month. This gives me a good sense of the types of control points that are firing and how risk breaks down on a more kind of granular basis right across the ledger detail. There are a number of filters that are available for this type of exploration, including transaction type, as well as the specific user who posts the transaction. One other significant enhancement to call out here is that now via the enhanced data import process, I'm able to also identify relevant categories or dimensions of the transactional data to the extent that they are available and mark those for filtering. So things like region we see here in the data, or state code, things like department and cost center as well. Specifically for not-for-profit engagements, programs can be identified in this manner also. And by identifying and mapping these types of categories, they are then available as another flavor to filter the risk overview by. If we move to the trending tab, we have a brand new trending graph here, which allows you to view the movement of a particular account on a monthly basis over the audit period, and also against prior periods. New in this release is that you are now able to compare multiple accounts against each other to see how they correlate and perhaps identify patterns or months where two disparate accounts move together in a way that is inconsistent with the past or your expectation. Let's look at an example here where I will compare accounts receivable to revenue. And we can see exactly how these accounts move together over time. Coming back to the categories which I just mentioned, to the extent that these are available in the data, you can filter the account-centric view here, or you can also cast the same graph and the same underlying transaction data to be category-centric and compare one or more accounts like expenses from one category to the next. For example, let's look at region. And I can select, for example, the Corp 3 region, as well as all regions. And I can compare total expenses on a region to region, or in this case, on a region to total basis over time through the audit period. And this certainly can help surface some interesting observations from an operational perspective for higher value conversations with your clients, and also perhaps be a source of a more specific risk assessment that has a particular lens on certain regions versus others. Moving to the AR and AP subledger analyses, there have been significant enhancements to these modules, and I'll jump to an AP analysis here, which is included in this engagement. Just a note that for everything we walk through here in AP, you can expect the same functionality on the AR side. So you'll note here on the Risk Overview tab that a similar band of filters is available to what we just walked through on the General Ledger side. And in the context of AP or AR, you can filter the risk overview here by specific customers or vendors. to see how risk breaks down more granularly. I'm going to filter here on a specific vendor, Old World Furniture. And one additional new feature here as well is that certain vendors or customers can be marked as related parties as part of the data import process. And if related parties do exist, which the entity under audit transacts with, you can apply a specific filter here as well for a perspective of how risk is aggregated specifically on these related party transactions. Moving to the trending tab, we've expanded the analytical capabilities here to not just chart how the AP balance moves on a monthly basis through the audit period, but we're specifically calculating some key performance indicators in days purchase outstanding and AP turnover ratios, which are visualized as well and can provide some great operational insight at the vendor or customer level here. On the Aging tab, we've added the ability and data import for the AR AP subledger at balance sheet date to be loaded into the tool. And that drives this summary here, where we effectively calculate aging and bucket the amounts by customer and vendor. To see exactly which invoices or other items are driving these outstanding balances, we've hooked up a link to a new view of the data table, which just shows the outstanding items in the AP subledger. And this is so that they are distinguished clearly from the whole year's activity. From this view of the data, you can run the intelligence sampler as a mechanism to automatically make selections from the subledgers for purposes of confirmation or subsequent testing. Thanks very much for your time. We're really excited about this release and the improvements we walked through around filtering, trending, and AR and AP subledger support.